afternoon, everyone. You're welcome to Maximize Live TV. This is Councillor Shade and Stephanie. As we are all aware that the reason why we've set up this channel is to actually encourage intergenerational friendship. We're happy to be to partake in one, and it's been a beautiful one. Tonight we've got lined up of topics to discuss, and I'm sure you would benefit one way or the other. I'll just pass it on to Councillor Shade.
And I'm sure people know that one of the reasons why we set up this channel is to encourage people to have cross-age relationship, and also so that people don't live in isolation. So have a friend, whether they're within your age group or not within your age group, and we find out that it's been a beautiful friendship between myself and Stephanie. But today we've got loads of topics to discuss actually, but we're going to just concentrate on the topic of friendship. And a character in the Bible, Naomi, is the character that we're going to be talking about. You know, a lot of people look at Naomi in different aspects, the different aspects of Naomi, especially with the tragedy that she went through and the relationship between her and her daughters-in-law. But we're not going to go into that in depth of Naomi. But what we want to bring out is her character, what happened. And you know, some people will think, oh, she feels abandoned by God, but we know that even through her tragedy, she continues to move. During her, God continues to move through her. But particularly we want to talk about her relationship with Ruth, her daughter-in-law. Why would Ruth, who has lost a husband, why would Ruth, who has nothing really to take from Naomi, why would she decide that she was going to go with Naomi back to Jerusalem, even though they had, she's lost her husband? Naomi herself has said to both of them, her and her other sister-in-law, to leave and go and get married somewhere. Why would you? I don't know if anyone has ever thought of the reason why Ruth decided to go with Naomi. Stephanie, have you ever thought of that? Would you think? What would
I think before we had the discussion, when was it? A couple of weeks ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're talking about Naomi in depth, and I never really looked at it from that angle. I think everyone just always assumed what they knew about Ruth and what they knew about Naomi. But going further into the discussion on the day, I realized that one of the reasons I believe that Ruth was able to leave everything and also go along with her mother, with Naomi, was because, number one, they had a solid friendship. And for you to be able, for someone to be able to tell you, okay, come with me, and you're able to actually listen, there must be something special, there must be something that you share with the person. And if you look at the relationship they have a relationship between a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law. So, but we all know that in some cases, it's never easy between a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law. But I think for them, the way Naomi presented herself, she presented herself more as a mother to Ruth, as opposed to the ideal mother-in-law cliche that everyone uses. She's not my daughter, she's my daughter-in-law. And I believe that Ruth had seen her mother-in-law the same way, like she's not my mother-in-law, but she's my mom. And I think when we remove reservations from friendship, from relationship, just like we said earlier, intergenerational friendship, when you remove certain things about age, oh, she's older than me and she's younger than me, I think we're able to enjoy a peaceful relationship. So for me, I find that very admirable, because I think removing that is one aspect that helped them, and it was easy for Naomi to be a blessing to Ruth, and Ruth was able to listen and learn from Naomi. So for me, I admired the relationship they both shared, because there was no in-law part of it. Even when her husband died, that she had reasons to just leave, but she still carried on. Even when she moved on to what's his name again, Boaz. As a mother, she still went to her for advice. And I think that's and I think we can learn from this, that we should all, regardless of what we see or what we hear, let's take our mother-in-laws as our mother, and let's take our daughter-in-laws as our daughter, regardless. No one is perfect, but if we look at things from that perspective, it helps the friendship. So for me, that's my...
Yeah, I think it's also good to know that we can help others even in our difficult moments. That is one thing I have learned from the life of Naomi. Even though she was going through all that, she lost a husband, she lost two children, but she was still able to help, others. It was a very, very difficult moment for her. But even in going back home and Ruth went with her, she had Ruth even in her mind. She had Ruth in her mind to make it a best, to make her life better than even when she had her son as a husband. She actually went for the best man in town to be the husband of Ruth.
Admirable, isn't it?
Yeah, that is very admirable. How many mother-in-laws would do that? So I think when you look at at Naomi, I want people to look at her in another light. I want people to see a woman who, despite her tragedy and her difficult moment, was able to help others and helped, helped Ruth to the fact that Ruth now married. In fact, we learned that she was even the one telling Ruth exactly how to deal with men of Boaz, characteristics, how to do things, how to be with him. I mean, obviously, I know children are watching this program, so we can't really go in depth.
Dating tips.
Dating tips and all of that, So she must be a very good mother-in-law, and the fact that I want to bring out of it is that intergenerational friendship. Ruth had that relationship with her. If you look at the age, they're not the same at all. They're not the same age. I probably think they will be decades apart. And yet she decided she was going to go with her back to her country. She wasn't going to go on her own. She wanted to go back with Ruth. So if Naomi had not shown her love, if Naomi had not shown her selfless sacrifice, she wouldn't have said she was going with Naomi. And also when you look at intergenerational relationship, it does work because there is sacrifices, even in the friendship. There's love, there's respect. And it also shows another aspect of Ruth in the fact that the respect she has for her mother-in-law endeared her to her, that even this tragedy, she still wanted to comfort her, because by going with her was a good comfort in the life of Naomi. So whatever we're going through, if you have a friend, and it's like a friend for life, really. That's the relationship. We really look at it is really friend for life. And not, in fact, she's even left the fact that maybe she was mother-in-law, whatever. This has now become, this is my friend. She's my friend, is going through tragedy, and I need to be with her. And in doing that, see how she came out later. Being even imagine her lineage is where Jesus came from. So we're just using that as, we're not preaching here, but I'm just bringing something out of being good, really. So it pays to be good. It pays to love and love wholeheartedly. It pays to not do eye service. She may have gone back or go with her other sister-in-law, but she decided, no, I'm gonna go with Naomi. And also, I also see someone who God redeems the lost. In the fact that Naomi behaved this way to Ruth, God then redeemed her lost. Because even though she lost children, she lost husband, but in her helping Ruth to marry Boaz, she forgot her tragedy. She forgot her past. She forgot things that may have happened to her. So all I'm just saying is intergenerational friendship is good. Rather than people living in isolation, you can imagine if Naomi was to live in isolation, was to come So if you could imagine if she was living in isolation or she was on her own, she became moody, she doesn't want to talk to anyone, her daughter-in-laws are asking her if they want to go with her, and she say, no, I don't want to go because she's not, but in her, she doesn't want to live in isolation. That's what we're saying, that international, generational relationship or even cross-age relationship is good rather than for you to live in isolation, live on your own, and it's just best to be in friendship. And I can relate it to my friendship. You know that I'm too old, but
You always say that, don't you?
I always say this. I always bring that to so that you know. But having a friend who is younger than you just allows you sometimes to be yourself. Someone like me with technology, I always say this, I'm not good at technology, but Stephanie is good at this. And so I don't have to think of, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I don't have to crack my brain because I know that she knows to do it and it will be done. So there are so many examples, there's so many benefits of intergenerational friendship. And especially for the older ones, for our elderly citizens. I mean, I'm encouraging, and obviously, like I always say, as the president of Penny Charity, I don't want any elderly to live in isolation. So I would prefer them to have friends who would help them. I prefer them to have friends who will give them a reminiscence of the past. I would prefer for them to have friends who would not, leave them in perpetual unhappiness, So it is good. And looking at Naomi and Ruth, that's exactly what happened. Ruth brought Naomi out of isolation, out of her tragedy, out of her, pity-parting state, because she went with her to comfort her, to be a comfort to her. And so that's a good aspect of intergenerational friendship. So do you have more to say?
Yeah, just like what you've just said now in terms of the friendship parts, because I know I touched also on the intergenerational. I'm sorry, I spoke about the in-law part of things. And when you
Yeah.
look at the friendship, your friend is someone you can turn to, and you can turn. Because if you look at Ruth, when she met Boaz, if she didn't have a good relationship with Naomi, she wouldn't have gone back to
Yeah.
discuss, this is what I saw when I went out. There's
Yeah.
this, and so looking at it out of the Bible, because for instance, you meeting a new person and you're someone else's daughter-in-law, you would think, oh, it's not a business. I'll just carry on
You
with
won't
my
even be able to say it.
exactly. So
Because you won't know.
yeah. So it also comes back that they've removed this in-law thing from their friendship, and so
Yeah.
she just saw her as a mom, as a friend, someone I
Yeah.
can go back to, and that is what friendship is all about. That it has to
Yeah.
be someone that you can count on, just like myself. Whether I'm having a good day or I'm having a bad day, I'm always excited to speak to you, and we just go over whatever is going on, and
Yeah.
and, and that's the beauty of
I think it's vice
friendship.
versa.
Yeah.
That's vice versa. That goes between both of us.
So and it's always good to have a good one. There are a lot of friends out there. I'm sure we all know, but when you have a good one, you hold on to it. And I'm glad for the one I've been blessed with. And which, until you read something, you study someone, you might not actually relate that to yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
I've never really seen Naomi and Ruth from that perspective, but now
Yeah.
I understand that it's been happening from whenever.
Way back.
way,
Way
way back.
back.
And I'm happy to
Yes.
be in here that we can relate our friendship to that. So which means we have something really good.
Yeah.
And so that's the part of friendship. So we can see how they both work together. And when you let yourself out of all these reservations, that, oh, she's older than me, she's younger
Yeah.
than me, what's going to happen? When you put restrictions, it kind of pulls you back. But when you
Yeah.
forget about the age, you forget about everything, and you just let yourself, I think you will be able to enjoy the friendship and enjoy whatever you have with the person. And I'm glad that's what we have as well. So that's the beauty, isn't it? That's a very beautiful thing to have.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So,
I think that's it for.
in a nutshell, what we've been saying for the past couple of minutes is just that you need to cherish your friends, cherish what you have, never put any barrier, and like we discussed earlier about in-laws. And once we are able to do that, I believe we'll be able to appreciate what we have, either in the form of friendship, either in the form of in-laws, or in form of intergenerational. Just enjoy what you have and remove the barriers, no limitation. And once we do that, I believe you will be able to celebrate more. And just like we are celebrating the beautiful friendship that we have, and I'm sure you've picked one or two things from what we discussed. I'll just
And you know
have,
what I've been doing as well? If you look at my Facebook page, I've actually been writing about friendship of late, because I
yeah,
think people need to understand what they have, and people need to appreciate what they have.
yeah,
So there was one that I actually wrote, and I said, cherish your friends, stay true to your principles, experience new things, love, and be loved.
remember that
And
one.
that is so powerful. I got a lot of people asking me, why am I writing on friendship? I said, well, it's just that people, I think the world is devoid of true friendship. And if we have true friendship, it just makes things so easy. It makes the life much, much better.
Yeah,
And that's what we're projecting. That's why what we're promoting, that good friendship, it's better to have more friends than enemies. And I believe
absolutely.
that
I agree.
friendship is everything. But be true to your principles, and experience new things. And I know I'm experiencing new things. And I think I'm encouraging people, don't just say you have to have friends in your age group, it has to be mine. No, 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 it doesn't work like that. It could be
Absolutely.
cross age
Yeah.
and yet feel fulfilled and feel very, very happy. And so that's what I want to leave with someone today, that cherish your friends, stay true to your principles, experience new things,
Mm,
love, and be loved. Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you for watching Maximize Life.
Oh. We do hope you've benefited from our topics of discussion this afternoon, like the likes of in-law friendship, intergenerational friendship. And stay tuned, and we will see you very soon. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye.